This is Between Hook Sets. I'm Jason Walter from In Through the Outdoors with my partner in slime, Kurt Underhill from the Fishing Crew.
What is going on tonight, buddy?
Not a whole lot. Do you ever get sick of me trying to cover up my door in the background? Do you ever notice that when I'm sliding around trying to
you got so much going on. I don't think anybody even realizes you got so much in your background that I don't think anybody realizes there's a door behind you.
It's interesting. I talked to a person last week that said, I dig your background, but you don't change things anymore. I'm like, you noticed
you just had a Christmas tree like a week ago.
Well, right. Yeah. But then I used to change stuff on the gun safe back here, and just fiddle around just to see if anybody would notice anything different. At least one person did. Right.
Yeah. I guess they're more attentive than me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, here's another thing that's kind of crazy. This is the 4th year I have canceled my trip to Devil's Lake to go fish and hang out with the Devil's Lake Volunteer Fire Department and do the Zach, how you doing? Do the deal. Right. And this is because of a meeting at the school, but now the weather is a little suspect today, which I think by Thursday things are, well, that's tomorrow already, are supposed to clean up. So with that, our guest. Oh, you
want to bring him in? You told me to hold.
No, I said be patient. I said be patient. You haven't caught it yet. So now it's not even, you were supposed to bust out laughing and go, dude, you screwed up.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. You're asking the dyslexic guy to catch a spelling error.
Oh, crap. I forgot about the dyslexia.
You're asking the dyslexia guy to catch a spelling error, bud.
Oh, for Pete's sake. Let's call 119 real quick here.
Well, we'll bring Nate in, even though he got his
face covered up.
Bring in Chef Nate.
Hey, good evening, guys.
You aren't by chance the department chef, too, are you?
Well, some days, yeah. On Sunday, I'll be cooking for the crew, actually.
Oh, good. Fantastic. So Nate Bennett is the chief of the Devil's Lake Volunteer Fire Department, and you're obviously one of the crew on the committee for the Devil's Lake Volunteer Fire Department ice fishing tournament. 41 years now.
Yeah, it's been 41 years that, that we've had it going. The crew that put it together for us did an amazing job of building this thing up. Like, I've been a part of it on the committee for probably 3-4 years now. And then the other guys were on for 7 years or probably 6 years before that. And then the Derby committee members before that were the ones that actually started the Derby for us and kept it going. And they just they built it up into something that's actually pretty simple to run. I mean, they did a good enough job that it was basically turnkey for the new committee coming in. So it was kind of nice.
So let's go into that before we get too far down the comments of how did this start? Did the fire department start this or somebody else, or why was this started? And then we can get more into the details because I'm really intrigued on how this thing all got started.
Yeah, so the group of guys that actually started it it started out at the Eagles Club in Devil's Lake. And then the Eagles Club was disbanding. And a few of the guys that were on there were like, well, where do we take this thing to? Like, where would be a place that could use the money that we're starting to generate here? And it just so happened that one of the members actually had was applying for the chief position just before I actually got it. So our retired chief is now Mayor Jim Mole. He actually brought it over to the fire department and had the Derby committee members kind of vote on it, and they all kind of said, yeah, let's bring it to the fire department.
So how many years has it been at the fire department?
Oh, quite a while. It's been probably 41 years this year with the fire department. So there was a few years before that where it was with the Eagles.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Because I was like, well, 41 years at the fire department, or was it 41 total? So that makes sense. So this is your guys' probably main source of fundraising pretty much. I mean, you probably have some other stuff, but this is your main source of fundraising for this.
So we actually, this is our our fundraising for the year. Our volunteers do a great job of coming in and working most of January actually to help get ready for this thing and get things done. And with the amount of hours that they put in, we and the previous Derby committee members and the prior chief decided that we would just do one, because it generates enough funds for us that we don't need to do two of them. So,
but it generates a ton of funds for you guys. But you also have a ton of funds that this thing goes that you guys support with. I mean, prizes. I'm sorry, you generate funds for the fire department, but you guys give out how many hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash and prizes?
So it's just over $350,000 in prizes.
And that includes ice shacks and vehicles and four-wheelers and fish houses. And
we got two vehicles on there this year. We got a Dodge Ram, or a Ram pickup, Midnight Edition. Then we got a Toyota Camry as the 170th prize. We have, like you said, a bunch of four-wheelers and stuff from Joe Sports Center and Devil's Lake Marine and Sports. It's unbelievable. And then every year we're always looking for information on and different prize ideas from people in that come to the tournament that want to buy tickets and stuff like that. And we took a couple of their suggestions this year, as well as in previous years, but a golf cart was one of the things that kept coming up and kept coming up and kept coming up. And Joe Sports Center started selling golf carts here 2 years ago. So we were like, let's get one. So we got a golf cart on there this year. And then another big one, and I don't know how you guys think, but when somebody asks about a boat, like they're like, oh man, you guys should have a boat. We instantly thought, well, Ranger boats and stuff like that. And we dealt with one of our local vendors, Blake's Marine, and they were able to get us actually a pretty good deal on a nice Lund boat you just had popped up there, and boat trailer, and it has the electronics in it. So it kind of exciting to be able to put that on there. And that's actually one of the prizes out on the ice this year. So that they could get that as a second place.
The cool thing about your tournament is you don't have to win first place to get the biggest prize.
No, a lot of times people don't want first place.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Yeah, we got
the biggest prize.
Yeah, we got that boat this year for the second place perch. We've got the hard shell fish house, and then we got a UTV for the fourth place. I believe it's the pike. So, yeah, there's a lot of fun with it, because we had a young lady that's from town here. She was in line for the fish house last year, and within the last probably minute and a half of the tournament, she got bumped out for the fish house.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
She got some cash money from it, but yeah, she was kind of devastated that she didn't get the ice house. I think their dad was more devastated than she was.
Yeah, I would say probably.
You guys sell how many raffle tickets, and the raffle ticket is your entry into the tournament, correct?
Correct. Yeah, we sell 25,000 tickets
at $30 a piece, correct?
$30 a piece. We raised it this year from 25. It was 25 for a lot of years, and then just the price of prizes, and everybody's feeling it. The price of inflation just is crazy, but we went up to $30, and we were kind of nervous because we went up to 30, and then we went to 25,000 tickets, and we were like, well, we're not. We were a little nervous about selling out, and by doing that, and it's still within the first month and a half they were gone.
Yeah, so I bought tickets. I've never been up there. It usually falls on our Delta Waterfall banquet and pier, which it does again this year. So we have our Delta Waterfall banquet the same weekend as your guys' tournament. And I've never been to it. I want to come up to it. I bought tickets a few times when it's like you got to have a drug dealer that in Devil's Lake to get one of these tournaments. You're like, hey man, can you give me a ticket? Can you get me a ticket? I don't know how many times I've called Susie Kenner and she's like, I'm sold out. I'm like,
Yeah,
come on. He's like, well, let me see if I can find one for you. Like they're a hot commodity even at $30. It's, and you don't even have to be there because you have a list of prizes that you win just by buying the ticket and not even competing in the event.
Correct. Yep. So there's a 171 if you count the grand prize, which we have to. 171 prizes in the actual raffle itself. That just by buying a ticket and putting your name on the stub, you're entered into that. And then we place for 3 different species. The top 5 we place for perch, walleye, and then northern. And within them 3 categories, like we said before, we have that one prize that is a higher end big ticket item that most people want. So, but yeah, it can be very, very tough to find tickets if you don't know the right people.
Yeah, it's like you got to have a dealer, man. Like you got to have somebody. For us South Dakota boys, it's like either you get there. I think I bought mine last year when we were up there at Woodlands. They had some laying around. And then Chasen had a buddy that bought me one this year.
Roger Diver.
And so it's just like you got to know somebody. So, I mean, you don't want to dilute it too much, but I mean, you want to keep them hard to get, but I think you could probably almost double the tickets you sell because
50 easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's actually the discussion we have every year after the Derby is like, well, do we go up or do we keep the need?
I get that.
Running the South Dakota Governor's Cup, there's nothing better than it's sold out already. It's sold out and you turn people away. That is the greatest thing to make a tournament grow. I mean, and it's just that I missed out, so I got to be there next year. I missed out, so I got to be there next year. We open our registration for ours at midnight on New Year's Eve, and by the 5th of January this year, I was 180 some teams, and I think I've got 2 spots left right now. So if you're listening and you won the Governor's Cup, there's 2 spots left. Last year I pushed really hard and sold it out in 9 days, but that's a good thing because then you have a huge waiting list and people know to get on the ball, and then people still forget. But you just got to get these people to, dive in. So yeah, you could sell 50,000 tickets and sell 40 and make more money, but then slowly it just kind of trickles down. So I love the sold out method.
Well, and the genius part of it is it really doesn't matter how many people fish, right? I mean, you're selling the tickets for people fishing, but if they don't show up to fish, it really doesn't hurt the fundraiser at all, right?
Right, correct. Because the raffle is in the last couple of years, the raffle is what's made us our money for our equipment and stuff that we spend the money on. But the Derby itself has been pretty good, but a portion of the ticket proceeds is what goes to the fishing part of it. So, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's hard to get tickets, and like I was gonna tell you guys, because you were talking about the Governor's Cup and selling them out and getting it filled out in 9 days there. We have 40 books that we sell out of the fire station here. And every year it's gone faster and faster. This year we sold our 40 books out in a day.
No.
So we got a question. Is there a date they're released every year?
The first week in October.
Yeah.
Typically we try and get our tickets at the station out that first Monday in October. But yeah, we try and get them out to the businesses so it's within that first week. And Shields and Grand Forks and Fargo both sell Derby tickets, and they were sold out by Friday that week.
And you've got them available in many towns throughout North Dakota, whether it's Rugby or Leeds or Lakota, whatever. I mean, you're just all over, aren't you?
Yeah. So and that's kind of funny that you mentioned that, because the way we kind of run our committee is we've got a guy that's in charge of the tickets. And his main focus is getting the tickets out to all the people that he has them dedicated to, and then making sure they're getting back in and dealing with any issues with the tickets. The prize guy, which that's me. I deal with the prizes, so I purchase all the prizes. I talk to all the businesses, do all that stuff, get everything lined up, and we actually start working on the prize list probably late June, early July, so we can kinda get that
next
finalized.
week. If
Yeah.
it's like me, you literally start planning next week for next year. If you're not already starting to plan.
Yeah, basically. And then we've got a guy that's dedicated to just dealing with the funding, because with all the state regulations and everything, we have to track absolutely everything and know where everything's going and keep all that stuff going. And then we got one guy that does a amazing job at basically running the tournament. So all of January and then the week of, that guy is busy. So and then when the other guys need help, we jump in and help out where we can. But everybody's got their little niche and they got the little thing that they do, and yeah, it seems to work out pretty well for us.
So speaking of help, did House Bill, I hope I get this right, 1538, did that help you guys keep more money? Because this is your major fundraiser, right? And you had to give up a ton of it, if not most of it. I don't remember exactly how that all worked, but did that help you guys out?
Yes, that helped out a ton, and it was it was a huge help. We got to get involved at the legislative level for that, and in doing so, we got to work with Game and Fish a little bit, the legislators, and we were able to get that passed, because a lot of our conservation fee, what would happen is we would donate, or not donate, we would give the money to State Game and Fish, and then with that stipulation that we could kind of have them donate that money on our behalf to other nonprofit entities. So, I mean, it was going back out into our community, because we have a bunch of nonprofits that help us, like during that week. So it wasn't bad, but it also, it took the 75% in prizes that we have to give away for the fishing side of it out of there. So we don't have to give a specific amount anymore. So that was kind of nice. And then the conservation fee went away. We're still giving money to the entities that we've always donated to, because they still come and help us. We just don't have to route it through State Game and Fish anymore.
Less fingers in the transition of the money.
Yeah, and State Game and Fish, when we'd send them, the recommendations on who we wanted it donated to, and all of that, it would funnel right through and go right to those entities. So I mean, there was no issues with any of that. It flowed through nice and easy. It's just the 75% in prizes that we had to give back on the money that was sold for the fishing ticket or derby side was a nice help. And then the derby committee kind of sat down and talked about that a little bit, and we're like, well, we don't have to give back 75%, but do we still want to, because it's a big draw for the fishing derby. Like we average about 4,000 anglers every year, and we're like, well, if we start lowering the percentage that we're giving back out, the prizes aren't going to be as good, and we might not have as many people show up.
So I was just going to ask you, how many anglers show up out of the 25,000 tickets sold?
About roughly 4,000, depending on the year. Actually, one of our derby committee members is headed, I'm not sure if it's to Grand Forks or Fargo, not 100% sure, but we got a couple coming in from Connecticut flying in.
Wow.
That came last year, and asked if one of the guys would help them out. We actually became pretty good friends with them, and he was nice enough to tell him, yeah, well, I'll come pick you up. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they're flying in from Connecticut. He's going to pick them up, because everybody thinks of the Derby that it's just on a Saturday. Well, this actually starts for us on Thursday. We have a registration night tomorrow night starting at 4:00 that goes until 11:00. The guys will be moving equipment around. Typically we get the lanes cleared and the parking lot cleared out on Thursday. We got to push that off to Friday this year. But then again, Friday we have another registration night that goes from 11 or 4 o'clock till 11, and then it's actually the Derby day, and a lot happens on Derby day. We have a breakfast at the KC Hall in the morning for anybody that wants to come out and drill holes with us. So we feed them well, then we go out, drill holes, then we kind of just stay out there and get ready for the Derby. And then 3:30 rolls around, we kind of start packing it up. Our guys that work security make sure the ice is all picked up, all the parking lots picked up. There's a farmer that lets us use his land that he every year he's great to deal with, and he's if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be able to have the tournament where we're having it, and it wouldn't be as big as it is.
So
you could see it in the backdrop here. Where is it in the same place? So basically, it's going to look the same.
Yep, same place every year, and yeah, like I said, he leaves a stubble on the field for us, so the snow kind of catches in it, and then we have some people that go out and plow the lanes for us and plow out the parking lot. And then there's another group that comes with a groomer. I know you had mentioned Woodland. Woodland comes out and helps plow lanes for us too if it gets real deep. So yeah, it's a huge community effort to make this thing happen. So
well, and that's what it's a huge community effort. But like I say all the time, I'm good friends with the rescue squad and the fire department here. You're the guys that we don't want to see, but we're happy to see.
Right.
Does that make sense? Like, I don't want you coming to my house, but I'm so glad you show up to my house. Or that accident, or God forbid, an ice accident or a car accident like that. But you guys are the people that I'm so glad to see when them things happen. And you guys do it. I don't know. Most of yours is volunteer, isn't it?
Yeah, we are a combination. We have 7 paid staff guys or full-time guys, and the rest is all volunteers. And we have probably 27, 28 volunteers. And I on the day, I would put them up against anybody. They know what they're doing. They do their job. They're top-notch guys. And it doesn't matter what we're doing. Like we go from doing this event to doing an auto extrication or whatever it is. I mean, they get their stuff done. They know what they're doing. It's great to work with them.
I suppose it's kind of like come fish our tournament and we'll come fight your fire.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's pretty fair.
So you do the registration Thursday and Friday afternoon. That lets you know how many holes you're going to drill, or do you already know how many holes you're going to drill?
We tend to drill about 5,000 holes in anticipation.
So it takes longer. It takes longer to drill the hole. It takes longer to drill the holes than it does to fish the tournament. Then. Yeah,
we start drilling at about 7 o'clock in the morning, and we have volunteers that come out and help drill holes, and they're probably out there till 9, 10 o'clock.
Wow.
Drilling holes, and then a lot of them, once they get done, they'll bring the augers back because we have 25 augers that we run, that people have donated back to the department, or members just let the department use them. And then they'll bring the augers back. They go to their vehicle, get their sled full of gear, and then they walk back down to the registration lines and the gates and get in line so they can be the first one out on the ice.
So, there you go. There you go.
So it's first come, first serve for your hole.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. So
and you get one hole.
You get one hole. Yep, one hole per fisherman. No Vexlars, no shelters, which a lot of the people get upset with because they want to fish with their Vexlar. They want to have a shelter up to keep them warm. And again, the guys that started the Derby back in the day said that they didn't want electronics because the kids that are fishing in it probably don't know how to use them as well. I can assure you my kids know how to use my electronics for ice fishing better than I do.
Yeah.
But I think us older folks would be at a disadvantage if we let them. So yeah,
it went the opposite way now. The young kids know how. It's for us old people to have an advantage against these young kids.
Right. Yeah, but yeah, it's been great so far. We haven't had any issues with people bringing Vexlars or cameras or anything like that out there. We've got a security team that our volunteers kind of jump on and help out with, and they kind of patrol on 4-wheelers and side by sides and kind of just make sure everything's going smooth. I would say their busiest part of the whole security thing is when somebody catches a fish and comes running over and wants a ride to the weigh station.
Right on.
And by all means, we get in. Let's go.
So okay, so now with that, do you guys keep track of the winning holes? So do you know which corner, which spot? Is it the center spot? Is it the east corner, the west corner, north corner, south corner? Which is the hot spot over the years?
So the fire department really doesn't track that because they're coming in from all over the place. But if you stand in line at the registration gates, you will hear more theories on where to go in the Derby area. I mean, it's as vast as just going out fishing,
Right.
on what jigs to use and at what time. Everybody's got their theories on, oh man, I want to be over here and I want to be over here. We actually, we had a guy that was unlucky enough to reel in a piece of carpet one year.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
He dropped down, and I think he had a flutter spoon on, and it kind of kicked off to the side, and he went to slowly jig it up, and it caught a piece of the carpet matting. And
I bet he thought he thought it was over right there.
Yeah, his poor little ice fishing rod was bent right over, and yeah, he really thought he had something, and here was a chunk of carpet.
I had that happen to me one time on, I think it was Francis Case. I was pre-fishing with Kurt Reef from PK Lures, who, by the way, is from North Dakota, for those that don't know, the Linton area. So I'm reeling, I'm thinking I've got this big one, and I get it up, and it's an extra large Under Armour hoodie.
Nice.
I'm so disappointed.
You guys say that's the worst. I still think my dad, we were down in Chamberlain, down for one of our tournaments, and he was there a few days early, and they went fishing, and he literally caught in the mouth a filleted walleye.
Really?
It was completely filleted.
Filleted.
Yeah, I mean, there was just literally skin hanging off the back, and he caught it in the mouth. And I wouldn't have believed it, but the people with him took pictures and said he literally caught it in the mouth. So, yeah,
that's impressive.
That is hilarious. So let's talk a little bit more about the raffle. I thought this was a barbecue pit, and I'm like, well, that is a really cool barbecue pit. But no, it's a raffle picking machine, ticket picking machine.
Yep. So that's actually our raffle drum. The guys that were on the committee before us were on a trip to Vegas. I think it was to the PBR, and they saw a company down there that built these big rotary drums for raffles, and they're like, well, our derby's getting big enough, we should maybe look into buying one of these. So they looked into buying it, they ordered it, got it up here, and then another one of the businesses in town said, well, hey, we could put some decals on it for you. And so they've been coming by every year and updating the decals as our sponsors change over the years. So it's been working for us great, but with the 25,000 tickets, I think if we go up anymore, we might have to look into getting another drum.
Wow. Yes, can you build a bigger one?
Talk about these prizes, because I'm like, well, this might fit in Kurt's dungeon, but then I'm like, yeah, wait. And you said it's a fire pit, and really cool. It's got your I guess it's become known as the logo for the Derby.
Yep, that's our
guy sitting there fishing.
Yep, we call him Derby Dan.
Derby Dan.
Yeah, and it was just a name that popped into one of the guys' heads one day while we were working, getting ready for the Derby, and yeah, it stuck. But the fire pits, one of our local welders builds them for us. He plasma cuts. He gets them all cut in the Derby Dan logo on one side, and then a couple of walleyes on the other. On the far side's another Derby Dan logo, and then this year, instead of making a dome top, he was kind of thinking. He said, I wouldn't mind having a fire pit that I could grill on top of.
Right.
So he put a flat top on there with some grates, and so yeah, you can burn your wood in there, and then put the top on and cook your supper. So
It's genius. I love it.
yeah, and those things are. You're not going to outlast that fire pit. It took two of us to move that thing.
Wow.
So
yeah, once it's in the yard, it's in the yard, right?
Yeah, you put it where you want it the first time.
You have any idea what they weigh?
I do not offhand. I just know that probably should have went to the chiropractor after we unloaded it.
Yeah, I suppose 150 pounds, probably, maybe 200 pounds. Heck, I don't know, but it looks awesome. The guy that put them together did a fantastic job.
In line with the prizes, so like people like said, first prize, a grand prize is a big prize, and then first prize is something, and then it's a good prize, and third prize is, or second prize is like a Vexillar. Like, so there's no rhyme or, I mean, there's a rhyme or reason for you guys, but it's like every 5 places or 10 places is a big prize. So you really don't matter if you finish. Dead last is what, a car?
Yep. The 170th prize is a Toyota Camry this year.
Woo. Yeah, there it is. Sweet machine.
So now these are all the raffle ticket prizes, correct?
Correct. So the grand prize to the 170th prize are all the raffle.
Yep.
And then the 5 places for the fish species out on the ice is all for that.
So what are your prizes in each of those categories?
So the first place perch, the main prizes 1st through 5th, they're all cash prizes with the exception of the fish house, the side by side, and the the boat and the trailer. So I would have to look it up real quick.
Oh, but you got a grand prize and you got 4th through 5th or 1st through 5th on those as well.
Yep. So the people out on the ice that are fishing, unless they have a stub in the drum, they're not in the main raffle. Because we do get people that'll buy a ticket, don't want to fish, so they'll give the stub to their buddy who wants to go fish.
Gotcha.
And everything that we've checked out, that's good to go. It doesn't matter. But when they're fishing on the ice, when they come up with their ticket stub and they have their button, they register that fish in whoever caught that fish's name. So those prizes go to him.
Okay.
Whoever's fishing. The raffle stuff is completely separate from what's going on the ice.
So when I win this weekend, my buddy Mark picked them up for me, but my name's on them, so I'm gonna win. The one
did you put my name on one, or did you just put your name on it?
The one that Kurt got from Roger, I put my name on it because I gave him $30, and I'm like, well, I'll just split it with Kurt maybe. No. So
Right.
Kurt's got one with his name on it. I've got 2 with my name on it. So he's in Peter, I'm in Brookings.
Nate, if you draw Chase and Walters, I'm gonna think it's rigged because I not on your part, on his part. I'm gonna think, yeah, sure, that was my prizes.
Nope,
Right?
I'm just. Here's the deal. I think my ticket numbers are in the 9,000s, 900s, 9,000. So I got them from out of Rugby. So the numbers are lower. Kurt, I think yours is way up there at the top. So there's just no way to know.
No,
But
no.
if I win, I'm sure it was all on me. You've got Dybert's bad luck on your ticket, so
That's a whole lot of bad luck to overcome.
Oh,
well, it was your good luck that they had something happen, and Roger and Matt did not come to see you. They actually, I think they were going to leave tomorrow because they kind of had to make the rounds, and they wanted to come up and they wanted to support you, and they were Roger and Matt were extremely bummed because they had to cancel, but yeah, that was a fun story. When I think we were sitting at a fire talking about different things, and I mentioned rugby, and Roger sits up right away. Rugby? No, rugby. How do you know people in rugby? We sell fire trucks to people in rugby. Well, I grew up there, so it's kind of fun to have that connection. And he's always said, "Hey, do you need Devil's Lake tickets? I've got some if you want some." So that's my inside connection. That and my buddy Mark. So
Yeah, no, Roger and Matt, we've been trying to get those guys up here for a lot of years. They actually, Roger and Matt and M&T Fire get a lot of our money that we raise.
Right.
They're one of our vendors, so it kind of circles back down there. But yeah, we've been trying to get them up here for years, and they always have something come up where they just can't make it. But it's a lot of fun for the people that come up. It's an absolute blast to put on. It's a lot of hard work, but it pays off in the end. And I think, for the people that are involved in it, I think they have fun doing it. And
So,
I would think so.
in 41 years, have you had to cancel because of ice conditions?
once everybody thinks that we canceled because of COVID when that whole COVID thing was going on, but it wasn't actually COVID. It was because of ice conditions.
No
I've
kidding.
seen photos of your lanes full of water and people still fishing.
Yep.
You're not going to have that problem this year, are you? You've got 25 inches ice or something up there?
Yeah, we started out last week before we just got that last cold snap with 22 inches. So we should be sitting about 20, 25, 26, maybe 27 inches, depending on where you're at on the ice, which is
You got much snow on top of the ice?
not a ton. Not a ton.
Because I think that was your main problem that year is you had a ton of snow on top of the ice, and it just pressed. I don't care how much ice you got. When you got that much snow and you drill that many holes, water's coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think with that specific year also, we had a big warming trend that kind of melted some of the ice on top, and then it refroze on us. So we had 2 layers of ice that we actually had to drill through, and then that middle sheet or that middle bubble of water come pushing up through right away. That was the initial stuff, and then it just kind of settled more with everybody on there and was just pushing up. But yeah, it was a ton of water.
Yeah.
People
are just walking on the snow drifts, and
you should have a pretty good weekend for it. And I think it's going to be, according to, I think this is the Weather Channel. They say some 40-mile-an-hour gusts that, who knows at what time of the day that's going to be. But when people are there to fish it, they're there to fish it anyway. It doesn't really matter the weather, right?
Yeah. We get some fair weather fishermen that come out that don't understand it. First year coming, they're just like, oh, we looked at the weather. It's not that big a deal. We're only out here for a little while. And within 15, 20 minutes, they're headed back to their vehicle.
They're done.
But
I get it.
Yeah, for the most part, the people that come out are dressed for the weather. They're dressed to fish. They're out there to try and catch a prize. So,
and if people wanna know more about the entire weekend of events, maybe they decide they want to come up to Devil's Lake and participate in some of the events. You're not going to be able to do the fishing thing because the tickets are sold out.
Yep.
So
correct.
but you come up there and be a spectator or whatever, or just to learn more about it. I'm trying to remember what the website is. I should have put that up on a banner today.
If you just Google the DLVFD fishing tournament, we're the first one that pops up. You can click on it. There's photos on there. The prize winners from years before are on there. Kind of the order of events or list of events. You can find that on there. But basically, for the most part, it's registration night Thursday night, registration Friday night, and then fishing derby Saturday, excuse me. And then after the fishing derby, starting at 7:00 is when the raffle is at the Memorial Building. So it's pretty fun. One of the big things I would say is, like, if you guys ever get up here in the future, one of the things that we do for people that want to come and support us is we have courtesy vehicles. So if you're at your hotel, you want to have a few drinks, call up the courtesy vehicle. They'll come pick you up. They'll drive you to the Memorial Building. You can have a few drinks up there. We got a bar that partners with us. They kind of run the floor, run all that stuff. And then at the end of the night, when you got to go home, you can call that courtesy vehicle back up. They'll bring you back home. There's usually 3 or 4 of them running. So there's sometimes a little bit of a wait when you get to the end of the night, but for the most part,
will they take me to the ranch to eat a steak and then home?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, well, if you catch them soon enough, they will.
I love hanging out at that place. It's fantastic, and they got great food too.
So you guys do a cookout and everything too, right? Like there's food at this event as well.
Yep. So one of the the local high school teams does all the concessions on the ice, and then they have food and stuff up at the memorial building. I think it's on. I can't remember which night it is. One of the nights they have soup and chili and stuff like that, so you can go up there, have some soup, have some chili. Yeah, it's growing into quite the event, to be honest.
That's awesome.
It's more than just the fishing tournament. You got, the registration nights. I'm guaranteeing those are fun. If you're going to 11 o'clock at night, where do you do registration at? The Memorial Building as well?
Yep, at the Memorial Building. And then during the Memorial Building, our extrication team actually sells slabs of bacon. Oh. And we have people that come just for the bacon raffle. Like they don't care about going fishing. They just want to come for the registration night so they can buy a chance to win a slab of bacon.
Okay. Well, anything's better with bacon.
Yep. And then we have live music during Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night after the raffle, and it's really a good time. A lot of fun.
So it's a 3-4 day festival.
Yeah. Yep. Pretty much.
On weekend.
And Sunday you just hurt and you don't even want to drive home if you're like us, but that's what I'm getting out of this.
Too much fun.
Yeah, it
be like the MPA. People. It'd be like us going to the MPA. Jason, you're driving.
Yeah, that's what I get for going to bed early. But oh well.
He wouldn't even be able to make the registration because he'd be like, "It's at what time? I gotta go to bed."
Yeah, late registration doesn't work for me. Early, fine. So I'm going to pop this up because do you guys keep track of baits? Because right now Berkeley's got buy 4 and get 1 free if you purchase from my website at chaseandwalter.com. Shameless plug there, but no. But here's the thing: pay attention to what wins, and let's see if it's a Berkeley bait that wins the walleye this year. Because I'd love to know.
So, do you guys have big white bass? Because I've caught some monster white bass in that lake.
Yes, they have pulled up a few white bass, but typically they don't catch too many of those during the tournament.
It's not really a winter biting fish.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard of some people catching them in the wintertime, but I don't know of many, and I haven't seen too many during the fishing tour. I can't say I haven't seen any, but I haven't seen too many.
You said you have perch, walleye, northern, right?
Yep.
Do you have every year full 5-6 northern brought in?
Some years. Most years we have them full. There has been a year or two where we had to draw for those prizes also.
Okay.
And so, yep. So what happens with that is if we got to draw for the fishing prizes, we'll actually do that before the main raffle, because those people's names that we pull out have to go back in the drum per North Dakota Century Code and gaming rules. It has to go back in the drum because they have to be able to be in there for the 2 high dollar prizes.
Okay. Well, and frankly, the way you guys do your tournament and other tournaments kind of do it your way as well. You pretty much poo-poo the whole walking around making noise on the ice thing, because you got 4,000 people standing out there shoulder to shoulder making noise and yelling and probably whistling and doing whatever, and the fish are still biting.
Oh yeah. If they're biting, they're biting a lot, and they usually fill the top 5 categories for each, or the top 5 places in the 3 categories, probably within the first 15-20 minutes.
No kidding.
It's unbelievable the line that's standing at the weigh station.
So I went to Brainerd one time. I've been there a couple times for that one. I was the first time I ever went. I was, 14. We went up there and literally the buzzer went off. I dropped my line down and my line just kept going, and I caught a perch about this big, and I took off running up to the thing thinking like, holy cow, I'll get it weighed in. And I was like so far back in line. I mean, literally the buzzer went off and I caught it. Like I dropped down and I caught it. Like it was just like, and they had 55-gallon barrels of perch this big. I mean, there's guys standing up there with them on their coats hooked to their depth checkers, standing in line. Because that one, you have to weigh a fish, and you might get 150th place and win a car, or you might, whatever. And that was the only fish I've ever caught at that. I've been there 2 or 3 times, and the only fish I ever caught was that big. I don't think I got back in time to fish the rest of the day. I think it took me 3 hours of standing in line to weigh that fish in.
Yeah, I had a guy, this is probably 3 years ago now. I was driving around doing the security thing, and we have guys wave us down, or gals or whoever wave us down to give them a ride to the weigh station, and this guy come just cruising over, and I'm like, okay, cool. He's like, can you give me a ride to the weigh station? And I'm like, yeah, where's your fish? And he opens up his gloved hand, and there's a little tiny walleye fry with the tail of the minnow in his mouth. And I was like, oh. I said, I don't think you're going to get anything with that one. And he goes, I've been fishing this thing 20 years and never caught a fish. I'm weighing it.
Oh, that's funny.
So he brought it up there.
He did. Well, that's good for him.
Yeah, he was happy.
Funny.
Yeah, that one in Brainerd, like, it's literally, you weigh a fish, you might win, right? I mean, and that's like, unlike yours, you got 5 places to actually win the tournament. So you probably want something decent.
Yeah,
at least something you think you can eat.
Yeah, people will bring in just about any fish they catch, because we've had years where the small, little, tiny ones win the big prize. Yeah, it's crazy, and it's all dependent on the year.
We got a question. Can you drill a hole while you're in line and keep fishing?
Can you what?
Can you drill a hole while you're in line and keep fishing?
I doubt it, but there's usually enough holes right around the weigh station.
Yeah, I was going to ask that question earlier. So you say you got 1 hole, but you can go to an unoccupied hole at any point in the day
absolutely.
if you want, right?
If you're not feeling like you got the lucky hole and there's a hole over a couple lanes over that's open, go ahead and jump over there. That's perfectly fine. Yep.
Yeah,
you just
that's
can't have
about
2 rods.
And it's first come, first served to the hole. So if Jason, my early bird riser, gets out there, can he save a guy a hole, or is it?
We have a lot of people try and do that, and I don't want to say we look the other way, but a lot of times you'll have people with a big spread of about 6 holes, and then their buddies will come.
Oh,
and a lot of times what it is we have people that are saving a hole for a handicap person.
Yeah.
So, and that's one of the nice parts about our tournament also is our security guys. If somebody's handicapped, we got handicap parking, they plow out wider lanes and stuff like that. The guys and the rangers on the 4-wheelers and stuff like that are doing security, they'll go pick them up, bring them out to their hole wherever their buddy's at or whatever, and get them all set up. And the registration nights on Thursday and Friday night, if you can't make it Thursday or Friday night, you can register on the ice that day, like right in the parking lot as you go down. So we got a registration shack out there that they can come and register right there also. So it's not like you have to come for the registration nights. We've actually had guys that I got a couple of buddies that come over from Montana, and they'll come for the registration nights, and then they'll go out with the guide and go fishing on Saturday and Sunday. So it's, yeah, they don't care if they catch the prize. They just want to be in the raffle and be a part of the other stuff. And they got relatives that live on the eastern side of North Dakota, so they just meet in Devil's Lake and have a get together that weekend. And yeah, it's lots of people doing that.
Yeah, I think that's the neat thing about it. It becomes a weekend, or even call it a mini vacation, even if it's in the winter. Oh, well, you live in North Dakota, or if you live in Montana or South Dakota or Minnesota, it's winter. Go have fun.
Yeah, that's why I don't understand your excuse. You can't leave till Friday afternoon. You're not going. I think you should still go there, Jason.
Yeah, because I've got a 17-year-old that will not go with me, and his mom's going to Denver. So That one's set in stone.
I was gonna say, you have an extra fishing ticket because you have mine.
Yeah. Well, here's what's probably going to happen. I'm selling my house in April, and then I'll probably build something up in Minnewacan, and I'll be there anyway. So you never know.
Yeah. So, I mean, what a great event. I'm glad it's pretty impressive. I've talked to people that have asked me to do tournaments, fundraiser tournaments, and I always point to what you guys do. Yep. Nobody's pulled it off yet, but I just point to, if you want a good fundraising tournament, look at what they're doing. And that's what needs to be done, because all ages, all skill set levels. I mean, it's literally, you can have a broomstick with a piece of string tied to it.
Right. And some do.
Hey, that's how I fished Devil's Lake in the 70s and 80s. It was a broomstick with 2 nails and braided line.
Yeah.
No, it's a lot of fun.
How many guys just put a tip up down and sit there and drink beer?
I haven't seen any tip ups, but I have seen a lot of people with bobbers. Sure. And if they're bobber fishing, they ain't got a whole lot to do.
Yeah.
Except for watch their bobbers. So, we kind of get suspicious as to what they're doing.
Yeah, the last time I went to Brainerd was my the weekend of my 21st birthday. We fished pretty hard for about 5 minutes, and then it was full commencement of other activities.
Right. Yeah. So we don't allow alcohol on the ice, as they would say, but every once in a while you'll catch a guy out there and he'll have his wobble pop with him, and it's like, so, but I mean, they're having a good time. We just we make sure nobody's getting unruly or out of control.
There's plenty of opportunities at this event. Obviously, Thursday night check-in, Friday night band check-in, and then Saturday night, you got plenty of time to drink your wobble pops. I'm going to steal that one, by the way.
Yeah, I like that wobble pop.
So, I mean, what a great event. Hats off to what you guys do day in and day out for your jobs. I mean, that's not something everybody can do. And we are literally, unfortunately, we have an issue going on in South Dakota right now. And I know quite a few of the rescue guys, and was having a conversation with one of the guys in the fire department yesterday, making some banners. And my buddy goes, "How do you do it?" And he's like, "I don't know. It's just, I do it because I do it. I love doing it." He's like, "I don't think I could handle seeing what you guys see." And he goes, "It doesn't bother me."
It does take a unique person to not let it affect you.
Yeah.
And I know you guys said thank you to me, but the true thank you goes out to our volunteers and there's a few of us in North Dakota that a lot of people kind of hear volunteer and they kind of stick up their nose a little bit. They're unpaid professionals. They truly are professional in what they do. The difference is a few of us get paid on this department and they don't. But they're just as committed as we are. They do everything we do. They see everything we see. My hat's off to them guys, because they work their butts off when they come in. They do amazing.
They give up a lot of personal time, family time, vacation time, all that stuff.
And our department's pretty unique in North Dakota in the fact that every Wednesday we have something going on, every Wednesday night. So we either have training on the first Wednesday or we have a meeting on the second Wednesday. We have an auto extrication team that meets on the third Wednesday. And then the fourth Wednesday, we have another training night. And then when there's a fifth Wednesday, we do a makeup training if they missed any of those. So every Wednesday night we have something going on, and the guys' dedication to that is unbelievable.
That is fantastic. Well, we're there with you. We have something going on every Wednesday night too.
Yeah, we do too. 7 o'clock every Wednesday night. And a lot of them are training nights.
Right.
We do a lot of training every Wednesday night.
I love it.
No, our fire department in Pierre is 100% volunteer. They have, I think, they have a chief that's full-time, a maintenance guy that's full-time, and a couple people that work at the airport full-time. But other than that, it's all volunteer. Like I said, true professionals. I hate to use the word volunteer, but they're not getting paid for it. They're doing it out of the goodness of their heart, and it's not something everybody gets to do. And we donate. I help in little ways and donate some money back to rescue because they bring their boats out for us to launch off of at our fishing tournaments. Even if they didn't do that, I would still donate to them. And like this weekend, our Delta Waterfall Banquet, my company, Marco Technologies, bought a table, and I donate that all to volunteer. The first responders get a free thing in there, and one of them is going to walk away with a free gun because we give a chance to every first responder and veteran in the room to win a gun. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
so
it's awesome. It's
pretty good, and like I said, don't want to see you, but sure glad happy when we do.
Yeah. And like I said, I can't say enough about the volunteers. They're the backbone of the fire service. They really are. There's more volunteer departments in the nation than there are paid.
And are you guys a rescue department too, like dive rescue up there as well, or?
No. So we actually have another entity in Devil's Lake that does the scuba stuff.
Okay.
So they do hard water rescue and they do soft water rescue. So, but we work hand in hand with them. They actually come out and position their airboat on the ice. So if anything were to happen, they'd be right there right now helping get people off the ice as quickly as possible. So
is that another service just like the fire department then?
Yep. And they do amazing. The courtesy vehicles that we were talking about, their group actually drives it around. So the Lake Region search and rescue team actually drives around the courtesy vehicles, and they take all tips, and we donate some money to them also that goes towards their search and rescue group. And apparently it's good enough in tips and our donation that they keep doing it. So
that's good.
Well, it takes an army, right? It takes an army to get something like this done.
Does.
And it's a big fundraiser for the fire department up there, but it takes an army of everybody else to help you with it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Our community gives us great support, and it takes a lot of people to put this thing on, and just a big thank you to everybody that does help out with it. And to be honest with you, thank you to you guys for having us on, because without you guys having us on and the other media people asking questions, not a lot of people would know what it takes to put this thing on.
Yeah, a lot of work. We know firsthand running tournaments. We've never had tournaments with 5,000 people at them, but we get firsthand all the work that's unseen behind the scenes. Like I said, you probably already started planning for next year. You're never not planning for. You're never not planning for the next year if you're going to keep something successful like this going. So hats off to the committee that puts it together, the volunteer fire department. I mean, it takes an army.
Yeah.
Well, and there's a reason to buy a ticket on October 1st when they go on sale, or 2 or 3, or you can buy as many as you want, right?
Yep. So if you stop into the station or, most places, if you want to buy 2 books, they'll sell you 2 books. We don't limit people when they come in. So
you don't do any online ticket sales, do you?
We don't yet. That's one of the things that we're possibly looking at next year. And to be honest with you, I don't want to say on such short notice because it's an entire year away, but
that's become a big but.
Yeah, I was wondering if he froze up or I froze up.
Yeah, to me, Nate's froze up. So there we go.
We got a big butt. We lost that butt.
I'm sure somebody started hogging the internet over here. But yeah, it takes a lot to make something like that happen. Because I mean, we do mail outs here where people can start mailing in. In fact, we had people mailing in for tickets, and I think it was late May last year.
Oh wow.
And then so we have a group. Our ticket guy heads this up, but we usually have 2, possibly 3 nights where we sit down and just fill out mailouts. Because we got to handwrite all the mailouts and then get them all mailed back to them. And so, yeah, there's a ton of work, and we got to research more of the online stuff. I believe there was some stuff passed in the legislature that would allow us to do that now. But we got to research it a little bit more. We want to make sure that we're doing everything on the up and up.
Yeah.
And that takes time.
Yeah.
So stay tuned, right? Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Yep. Stay tuned.
Well, Nate, you're starting to bust up. We're at that 8 o'clock mark where somebody might, put a hatchet through your door because they want you to come and help.
Yeah,
they have all the tools there, tear the hole. They won't even go through the door. They're coming through the wall.
Right.
Right.
Nate, we appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great, safe event this weekend coming up. Thank you.
Thanks, Nate.
Thank you guys for having me.
You betcha. Take care.